With free agency set to open and the Chicago Bulls needing to add shooters, we're starting to get rumors in about a shooter that the Bulls could be targeting. We're going to talk about why the Bulls could and probably should go after Donte DiVincenzo right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And I know it's the third episode of the day. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in because free agency is opening up, which means you're probably getting multiple episodes from me for each day for quite a while now. So Ian Begley with ESPN talked about Donte DiVincenzo and him opting out of his contract, and the New York Knicks are expected to be the front runner considering he played with Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart as well, and they could be looking to reunite there. But it's going to face some other teams trying to obtain him as well. And so it looks like the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Chicago Bulls, and Detroit Pistons are all amongst teams that are planning to make an offer for Donte DiVincenzo. Now, this is a shooter that the Chicago Bulls desperately need. Now, one of the things that I will say is we talked about Bitum before and you know how he could factor in for the Chicago Bulls. Now, again, that was rumored to be a two-way contract. Who knows if he's going to come over and maybe make the roster right away. I still think that he will. But Donte DiVincenzo is a guy, 6'4", 203 pounds. He can play shooting guard. He plays some small ball, small forward as well at times. And, you know, especially with Javonte Green, Derrick Jones Jr. being gone, maybe even moving Kobe White to the starting lineup, it's going to open up some guard minutes. Donte DiVincenzo is an interesting prospect for the Chicago Bulls. And the reason why I say when you look at him, last season, 39% shooting from three-point range, 36% shooting the year before that. That was following up the lowest of his career with 28% shooting. That was only 17 games played in 2021-22 for the Milwaukee Bucks. But Donte DiVincenzo is a career 36% three-point shooter, averaging 4 3-pointers per game, 4.7 3-pointers per game. That's right at 5. Last year, he took 5.3 3-pointers per game, hitting that at a 40% clip. And this is a guy who can definitely shoot the three, right? He can stretch the floor for the Chicago Bulls, can play next to DeMar DeRozan, can play probably next to Zach LaVine as well in some lineups. On top of that, this guy also, when you look at his career, averaging 1.2 steals per game for his career. Not anything to shake your head at. With that, averaging 2.8 assists per game, only 1.4 turnovers per game as well. So, again, you can see it and how he factors in and fits in with a team where he's not going to be a featured scorer, right? That shooting is going to be probably the biggest asset off catch and shoots, pin downs, things like that. He can come off screens. He's a very active and movable player as well. When you look at his averages last year, only 9.4 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, shooting 43% overall from the field. But that key number I talked about before, 39.7 3-point percentage per game. Now, again, am I saying that Donte DiVincenzo is the perfect player to fix all the Chicago Bulls needs? No, but he does present an option of a player who can come in, he can stretch the floor, who can play next to most of your guards depending on the lineup that you already have on this roster, and who's played on teams where, listen, he's had to figure out his way to get it in, right? He's had to find out how to be effective on teams where he's just not going to get a lot of shots. When you look at it overall in his career, averaging 7.7 shots per game, and when you look at almost 5 of those being three-pointers, he brings a much-needed skill set that the Chicago Bulls could use. Again, am I saying that he's the perfect acquisition? No, but when you look at the fact of what the Bulls' situation is in free agency, not a lot of money, right? And they may come down to have to split up that mid-level exception between multiple players. And when you look at possibly bringing in Bitum and what he can bring there, having your power forward situation with Patrick Williams and maybe adding another player of some size there, maybe even, you never know, maybe Justin Lewis or somebody else is ready to go. Small, maybe. Oh, I would hate to see if they play Dalen Terry as a small ball forward. But with that said, it does present the interesting situation, though. If Donte DiVincenzo is the player that they end up going after, what does that mean for rookie, well, going into now his second year, Dalen Terry, right? So, you know, those things are definitely things you want to look at. But at least right now, it seems like the Bulls are doing their due diligence. We're trying to find a shooter, which is the thing that AK said that they were going to try to do. Change that shot profile. Donte DiVincenzo would do that. And I know there are going to be a lot of Bulls fans that ask, hey, is this the guy we really want to spend the money on? But when you're a team like the Bulls, who may not want to attach long-term money, who doesn't have a lot of money to spend, Donte DiVincenzo is in that free agent area that the Bulls could fall in. But hey, let me know what you guys think on that down below. Listen, we are 48 hours away from free agency opening. And if anything, the Bulls have made moves early in the free agency the last couple of days. Will we get moves on Friday? That remains to be seen, but make sure you guys stay tuned in right here at the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, as I'm going to give you guys breaking news updates anytime something happens. Thank you for tuning in. Follow the show at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, we'll leave a text message and our voicemail. The number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related because of you guys. And like I like to end everything on. Go Bulls. Love you guys. See red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.